Hi everybody, this is Greg from the Dice Must Flow, and today we're going to take a quick look at a deck building game called Valley of the Kings by AEG. It's a small package, but packs a lot of fun. So recently I picked up the latest expansion for this, Valley of the Kings Last Rite, and there's another expansion actually called Valley of the Kings Afterlife. And all these guys go together. It is for 1 to 4 players, and together you can mix these sets to make it up to 6 players or potentially more. So let's take a look and see what this is about. Okay, let's take a quick look at the basic Valley of the Kings game. And in this game there are 3 levels of cards. There's the level 1 cards, which are your starter cards. Level 2, which these come out earlier in the game, and then level 3, which come out later, and they are much more powerful. So let's take a quick look at your starter cards. You have 4 of the Shabtis, an urn, a box of food, and an offering table. In a deck building game, you have the ability to buy cards, add them to your deck, you play your hand, and generate money to buy more cards. And as you buy more powerful cards, the game, your hand or your deck gets more powerful. So the starter cards are, you have 4 of the Shabti cards, 2 of the urns, 3 of the urns, 2 boxes of food, and an offering table. And in Valley of the Kings, in addition to cards just generating money or different types of resources, they have special functions too. So with the Shabti, you can swap 2 cards in the pyramid, or you can use the urn to, or when the offering table has, when an opponent's action would cause you to discard a card, you can reveal the offering table from your hand. So this game is a little different because these cards can either be used for the money or they can be used for the text on them. And so that is something that's a little different than most deck building games. And so let's take a look at some of the other things that this does. A lot of deck building games, you just have a pile or a set of cards you can buy from. And Valley of the Kings is a little unique in the sense that there's a pyramid, the Egyptian pyramid. And you can only buy cards from the bottom layer. And when you buy a card, then other cards move down. So if you would buy this card, then this card would move down and this card would move down, and you would draw another card to go up top. So you have a little bit of strategy about what you're going to buy, what you're going to leave out there for other people. And so the gist of the game is essentially you would play 5 cards. We'd play out here, and you could see this hand would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 value. So you could buy a 2 card, this would come down, you could buy another 2 card. These are added to your discard pile. When your deck is gone, then you reshuffle everything, and now you have these cards that you've purchased available to use when you play or draw new cards. So that is the concept of deck building. Now, how do you win? As you may see, each card has a type of card. There's amulets. There are 5 amulets, different amulets in the game. There are 3 different sarcophagi in the game. There are 6 different books in the game. And as we would look, there might be a whole bunch of different ones. This is a unique guy that's just worth 2 victory points. So what you want to try and do is collect a large number of like items. So you want to try and collect sarcophagi, or you want to try and collect amulets. And based on how many of those amulets or sarcophagi or books that you have, those are worth more and more exponential victory points at the end of the game. So the other neat feature that this game has is something called the tomb. During your turn, you can take one per turn, you can take a card from your hand, and instead of playing it, adding it to your tomb. And so this is useful for thinning out your deck, getting rid of less powerful cards. But also in this game, it's a fine balance because you have to entomb cards. Only the cards that are entombed are the ones at the end of the game that count for points. So you might have a really powerful card that you want to keep in your hand, but you're also trying to get the points into the tomb, because that is the points that you score at the end of the game. And so that's the basis of Valley of the Kings. It's a deck building for 1 to 4 players. Plays really fast. It's kind of fun. It's, as I said, you can either use the points, you can use, each of these have special capabilities, and they are quite powerful sometimes. We joke that the game is balanced because there's so many overpowered cards. For example, this one, if you bought a card this turn, you can take another card with a lower cost. So there's quite a bit of power in these cards on the text. And so you have to always be deciding, do I want the text? Do I want the money? And then also, when do you start entombing the cards? And what do you do for that? Because really, only entombed cards are your victory points. Let's take a quick look at the latest expansion, which is called Valley of the Kings Last Rites. Okay, I've just opened up Valley of the Kings Last Rites, and first thing I noticed is that there are different starter cards for this game. So they have different functionality that they can do. Sacrifice card in the pyramid, or in your hand, or refill the pyramid. And so this would add a lot of variety to a game that would always tend to start the same with the same starter card. So I really like that idea. The other expansion, which I haven't shown, really just added more of the Type 2 and Type 3 sets that you collect, and each of them having different powers. And so by adding a new starter, it's really going to play similar but a totally different game. This game is going to play exactly the same as what we showed you before. You're going to have the pyramid of cards that you're going to buy from, and your starter cards each are going to have different powers or money, and each of these are going to be different power or money. And again, as you buy these cards, this is the cost of the card. I should have mentioned that before. That's how much money they generate to use to buy cards. And so it's going to be, very familiar if you're used to the game. You can play this as standalone, or you can mix the sets together. They have rules about how to mix the different sets together, and I like that because you really can get quite a variety. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that you can actually play this game solitaire. They have solitaire rules in the game, and sometimes that's kind of cool when you just have a little bit of time by yourself and you want to try and mess around with some things. Again, you do the whole entombing of your points, you buy cards, you play cards, you draw and entomb, and then based on what you've entombed, the type of card, again, these out here are all priestesses. What you've entombed, then you get victory points based on that. And so, I really like this. I like deck building games to begin with, and I really like this one. It's simple, should be played, like a half hour. Oh, the other thing I did want to mention is with the multiple sets, you can actually play more than 4 players. You can play 6 players, and because you have more of the Type 1 cards, that you have enough to spread around and add more people. So this is Valley of the Kings. Really like the game, and if you like deck building and you like a simple game that it would be fast or quick playing, you just want to pull something out, it's small, carry along to a restaurant or something, this might be right up your alley. Thanks. Have a good day.